I'm sure at times during the work days he probably struggled to get a hold of him as well. What would you say is something you'd want to share with people who may be in a similar situation? Like, how do you cope with that?
To be honest, in the beginning, it was a bit of a challenge.
Looking back then, there was no rule book. There was no someone telling you this is what you should do to make sure that you're successful and that you have a good life. And
Really struggled at communication.
yeah, it's
We were just a bit more open and just,
so true.
verbalised
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Nicole has been one of the key contributors to us being successful over the years. And some people forget that. They think, oh, the man's made all the money. The man bought the house. The man did this, the man did that. And it's not the case at all. Not in my case anyway.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, 100% it's a partnership.
Howdy doody. Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Days, guys. And we have a special guest today.
Indeed. By the way, hope you're having $1 million day.
Yeah. Very much
Don't
so.
forget that.
Do you want to introduce our special guest, George?
Yeah, this is the first guest I actually love. Who would have thought? So sorry to everyone else that's been on.
All the other guests.
That's it. Sorry to everyone else that's been on the podcast before. Today we are joined by my partner in crime, my wife, Nicole.
And our favourite passes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, second favourite.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was funny today because we actually had another guest booked in and they cancelled last minute, and I was just talking to Nicole on the phone. I said, hey, by the way, do you want to come in and have a chat? And she's like, no way. I couldn't think of anything worse. And then we started talking a little bit and I managed to convince her to come in. And I think it was going to be cool just to have a chat from the perspective of, well, maybe what it's like to be married to me, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm going to use this to dig up all the dirt.
All the dirt, all the goss come out today.
All the dirt.
That's it.
Here I am, and thanks for having me on your show, guys.
Nicole's a long-time listener, she tells us, every episode.
I really should listen to at least one.
At least one. Not episode one.
Was episode one?
Episode one. I've heard it's quite controversial.
No, episode one was all right. That was we were quite, it's funny, if you listen back to it, I reckon we've improved so much more.
Surely. Imagine you did the same thing 31 times.
Yeah.
What's this? This will be episode 35.
How good's that?
Imagine you did the same thing 35 times in a row and you just did it in the exact same way.
5 weeks in a row we've been doing this. 35 weeks.
Haven't missed a week.
And has a current affair knocked on your door yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. That's not. It's funny now that you mentioned that. So you saw this on Facebook the other day. So one of the intros that we did to an episode was where I said, I'm so busy that I'm thinking about employing more women so I can pay them less and have, bad work conditions and all that sort of stuff. That was the intro. Obviously there was more context.
You haven't seen that clip.
I'm going to send it to you. I'll send it to you. It was so funny. But we did that on purpose so we could use that as the intro. So someone would be like, oh, what? How could you say that? And no one responded to it. Like, I was quite surprised until last week. Some lady, I can't remember what her name was, otherwise I'd name and shame right now. She's like, she tags me, George Passes, you're not serious, are you? Is this a joke? Yes, it's serious. I genuinely want to employ women so I can pay them less.
I would have paid to see your face reaction when you saw the comment. I was pumped when I saw it. I was like, I can't wait for George to see this.
I was surprised you didn't respond before me.
Well, I'm just going to, can't take that away from you.
Well, I told her to listen to the episode, I wanted to get another download. So at least hopefully she listens and knows that I'm not a misogynist.
Working towards getting those numbers up.
Yeah, that's all it was about.
That's it.
Getting another viewer. So, before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed yet, doing it a bit early today, make sure you hit the top right-hand corner, press the subscribe button, tell all your friends, pass it on to your family, and get onto it.
And your mother.
All right, cool, let's get into it.
Nicole, give us the dirt.
Jeez, straight up.
Give us the
What
dirt.
would you like to know?
No, Mike, everything. Everything from start to finish. What's it like? What's he not telling us?
Okay,
I want all the dirt.
I think I want to, and thanks for joining us today, guys. It was great having you here.
And that's it. Now, you know what? Our biggest aim with this is to provide value to the listeners. And we do have some female listeners. Yeah. So let's start off with this. George is obviously a very busy man, right? I struggle to get a hold of him. I'm sure at times during the work days, he probably struggled to get a hold of him as well. What would you say is something you'd want to share with people who may be in a similar situation? Like, how do you cope with that? Because he's obviously super busy during the day, runs several businesses, several successful businesses. How do you deal with everything on your end?
To be honest, in the beginning, it was a bit of a challenge, but seeing how much he's grown over the years, I've become a bit more understanding. So if I can't get a hold of him, I'll just wait for him to call me back, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, it did piss me off a lot. But seeing where he's come and how well he's done, I can be a little bit more understanding.
So she knows you're not fucking around.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he must be working. Like, this
Seems
seems
going for lattes all day.
yeah, this seems to be making progress.
Do you know what? I reckon one of the most challenging things looking back at our life was when we had kids. So I started my my construction business when we just had our firstborn, our eldest son, Stevie. And I think that was really difficult for me, but also for you, because I was so entwined in everything I was doing in the day-to-day operations of the business, and then having a young family as well. And in my world, like, I'm so completely busy at everything I had to do. And then you come home, you're tired, you might be a bit drained. You're coming home looking forward to seeing the family. But then Nicole had her own problems with not having any sleep, looking after a crying baby all day, changing nappies, feeling like crap. And
the timing probably couldn't be worse.
Yeah, I
In
agree.
saying that, prior to having kids, we did kind of make an agreement that I was to stay home with the kids. And George had a great vision, and I was supportive of him pursuing that. Although it was hard. It was hard.
And I just wish I had the hindsight. And this for anyone that has young families now, and I even do this to my mentees, and I try and teach them that, like, if you do have a young family and you have got a business that you're running, you need to make sure that the time that you are home, you're present, and you're also like put your big boy pants on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be hard. Support your partner at home, because it's not just you've had a hard day, she's had a hard day. It's no, I'm going to come home. What can I do? I regret so I never really did any night feeding or anything like that. And Nicole was very selfless in the sense of, George needs to work and get up early, I'm going to do that. Do you know what I mean? And then I took that role on, I'm going to provide. So, Nicole's going to do her thing, I'm going to do my thing and provide. And I think that can sometimes, whilst that might be good for the short term, I think in the long term, you can't keep going like that. You have to come together and you have to have that talk and discussion of going, look, I'm so tired tonight. Can you just do the feeding? So yeah, like, absolutely, I'll do that. I'll go to work tired tomorrow.
That's where I really struggled, I think, communication.
Yeah. It's
where we're just a bit more open and just,
so true.
Verbalized a little bit more what we wanted, what we needed. It could have been better for both of us, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt. I couldn't agree more with that comment. It really does come down to communication and being open and transparent with your partner. And we probably didn't do that as much in our younger years. So we were late 20s when we had I was 30 actually when we had our first kid. Nicole was late 20s. And, we say this now with a lot of experience. We got, 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. We say this with a fair bit of experience now. But looking back then, there was no rule book. There was no someone telling you this is what you should do to make sure that you're successful and that you have a good life. And, they say about work-life balance, or which we don't agree with, but work-life blend per se. And that's what I would give to young couples, young families now, is making sure that you and your partner are on the exact same page. Because it'll just help. You don't know what your partner's going through every single day, and they don't know what you're going through. And then when you both come home and you've both had a tough day, and that's where arguments can tend to come into play.
A lot of pressure on relationships.
On both people. Because they'll be punching on saying, you've been out with having coffees. I saw you had a coffee with Robbie today.
I've been here doing this.
I've been here doing this. And then you're like, hang on.
Cleaning diapers.
Yeah. And then I'm like, hang on, cool. Do you know we just lost $100,000 in this and I have to deal with that? I wish I could stay home and watch TV all day. But you see where that disconnect comes in play, because obviously she's not just watching TV all day or playing tennis or doing whatever you're doing. Wow. And we'll get onto that part of the life. We'll get there. So yeah, does that answer your question?
I can't remember what the question was.
I feel like I'm
Nah, of
taking
course it
over your
does.
podcast here, Robbie.
Hey,
I feel like I'm taking over your
That's
podcast.
good.
it's all yours. I'll be eliminated from this show very shortly. I'll just pack my stuff up. How did you two meet?
Oh, good one.
Met through a mutual friend, actually. It was nice.
Yeah,
Let's shout him out. Who's
shout him out. Danielle, if you're listening, no doubt you're listening. Oh, you went surname as well. Shit.
Drop the
Imagine that.
No, that's all right. Yes, we met through a mutual friend. She was more of a family friend with us. So I'd known her since young kids. And then it was funny, one day Nicole came we're at a beach in Dramana. And Danielle was meeting, like you guys came and I was there with my friends. I remember it well. And I remember the first thing that Nicole said to me, actually she didn't say anything to me. She just nodded.
What?
Right.
Just like,
So Danielle, exactly that.
Hey.
So for context,
sup?
and my kids won't listen to this for many years, but or family members probably, but she had a cigarette in her hand too. So she was lying on the beach towel, cigarette in her mouth, and Danielle's like, oh, hey, George, come, blah, blah, blah. This is my friend, it was Christiana there. So it was Christiana, and this is my other friend, Nicole. Christiana, lovely girl, really nice. Hi, George, nice to meet you. I'm like, oh, hey. She goes to Nicole. Nicole just, oh, hi, Nicole, I'm George. She just looks at me, gives me a nod, and then another puff of the cigarette and continued working on her tan. So, look, it probably didn't help that I rocked up on a jet ski as well. It was like, hey, babe.
flag for me.
Hey, babes, do you want to come on a ride?
Yeah.
So that's probably
Join me on
like
my jet ski.
yeah, mid-20s, full of testosterone. What's cracking? Crackers.
At your peak. That's the absolute peak.
Not much has changed now. We're still
Still got a jet ski.
Still got a jet ski.
Still full of testosterone.
Still full of testerone.
The jet ski's mine.
Yeah, I just borrow it sometimes.
I got yelled at.
When you
Where I just, yeah.
Well, was it Nagambie Lakes? Robbie took the ski for a drive and Nicole was like, what are you doing on my jet ski?
In trouble.
Yeah.
It's good fun,
At
mate.
least it inspired you.
It did. It made me want to get one.
Good. You going to tow it on the Tesla or the Ranger?
I saw the Tesla Cybertrucks can tow 5 tons.
I don't. Do they even sell them here?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
You got to put an order in.
Oh, cool. Maybe get that as a next ute. Company vehicle.
I don't think they're.
No, they're a ute.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Are they?
Yeah.
I reckon. Can I just have you've seen the Tesla truck, haven't you?
I don't know if it'd be a great workout.
I reckon he did that as like him and his mates would have been in a room and just gone, let's design the ugliest car on the face of the planet and let's laugh at everyone when they buy it and it's the highest selling ute in the world. You know what I mean? Because it's not a good looking car. I don't care what anyone says. That's not a good looking car.
It looks different.
It's just like, it looks like an 80s futuristic vehicle, like what they would dream up in the 80s as the future.
Yeah.
That's what
it's like sharp edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen it?
I have. Yeah.
Super weird.
Super.
All right, cool. So what else? Communication. Hit it up, obviously, when you first met.
Yeah, it took a few goes. It was probably wasn't until the third time that we met that Nicole actually spoke to me. Even the second time, it was very similar.
It was until he sold his jet ski.
Yeah, I did. I sold it. That's right. And then I was like, I sent you a message.
You had a few jet skis, huh?
Over the years, yeah, a couple.
Let's get the story straight. I sent you a message saying,
Yes.
call me when you sell your jet ski. And he sold his jet ski very quickly.
Oh, George never told us this side of the story.
I knew
out with him.
I knew what I had to do, and I went and did it. I knew what I wanted.
It's called action, guys.
That's it.
Take note.
That's it. So yeah, it was an amazing journey the whole way through, and here we are today. But going on from what we were speaking about, so we had that conversation early days that okay, Nicole was going to be a stay-at-home mum, and then I was going to be the traditional roles, stay-at-home mum, provider, and I think that's a huge advantage. If you're in a position where one person can stay home, like the wife can stay home and the husband can work and you can financially afford that, I think it's massive because your wife or your partner gets to raise the children, not the childcare, not the grandparents.
Be the biggest influence on them.
They're the biggest
saying that, there's a lot of pressure
without
on
a doubt.
the husband.
Oh, there's both. There's one on both. But this is where I'm saying, where if you're not trained, like we had the conversation
But
the other day.
looking back, those early years were great, but I think as they get a little bit older,
Yeah.
I think it's important that the mother also focuses on her life,
Oh,
her
yeah.
career.
Yeah, we'll get into that for sure.
Yeah,
We'll get into that. But because I think that served us well at the beginning,
it did.
you know, and I still don't regret it. And I even to now, if Nicole, and I've said this before, I think in previous episodes, if you said to me, look, I'm done, I don't want to work for the rest of my life, so I'm cool. You know, I'll just play tennis every day. I'll just, you know, do what I'm doing. I'm having fun. I enjoy this. I actually enjoy this lifestyle. I get fulfillment from it because that's important. I get fulfillment just from picking up the kids at 3, taking them to school, going for coffees with friends, playing tennis. And to a lot of people, that sounds like the dream life, all right? But if you had fulfillment for that and you said that to me, I'd be like totally fine. And Nicole's friends used to bag her, oh, look at you, you got the best life, you know, good life, being, you know, doing what you want, when you want, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, fucking oath it is. Absolutely, it's a good life. We worked hard for this life. That's why she can live that. And this is another misconception too. So I make the money in the relationship, yeah? I couldn't do what I do if Nicole didn't do what she did. So out of consequence, the only reason we make good money is because Nicole is a key contributor to that.
It's all me, really.
Yeah.
But if I had to
I think it's all Nicole.
Yeah, well, if I had to take the kids to school every single morning, like that's 2 hours of my day gone. If I had to pick them up every single morning, that's every single afternoon, that's 4 hours of my day gone. If I had to come home and cook dinner and have that ready before everyone was there, like it's not feasible for me to do all that. And shout out to all the single parents out there working and looking after kids. But if I had to do all of that, then there was no way I could have invested the time, effort, resources into building the companies that I have over the years. So as a direct result and consequence, Nicole has been one of the key contributors to us being successful over the years. And some people forget that. They think, oh, the man's made all the money. The man bought the house. The man did this. The man did that. And it's not the case at all. Not in my case anyway.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, 100% it's a partnership. And, you know, touching on what you said a little bit after that was it's good to have that purpose after as well. So, you know, once your kids say get to a point where they're potentially both at school or don't no longer need you 24/7 to look after them, then
There's so much tennis you can play. There's so much coffees you can have. It does get a little bit boring at times.
yeah, and then I suppose that's the biggest challenge for you now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And I have been so grateful over the years for being in a position where I can do that. But I think you then reach a point in your life where your kids are a little bit older, where you need to then shift that focus to yourself and focus on your purpose and what you want
Yeah.
and what makes you happy. And just being that little bit selfish, I guess.
Yeah.
And just, you know, you got to let go of the kids a little bit more. They don't need you as much.
Yeah, and and that's the thing, you've been so selfless. And I think that's what we do as adults and parents particularly. We give everything to our kids. Everything's about our
mistake.
kids. It is.
It is a mistake.
It is.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, you're without a doubt. And you don't have kids too. I like this because it's like I can almost give you the advice before you even get into it. But
There's a
yeah,
fine line.
taking
yeah,
notes.
it is. It is.
There's a fine line. Yeah.
It is. You're giving everything to it. And whilst that's a selfless and beautiful thing, yeah, you want your kids to prosper. But if your relationship suffers as a result of that, or if your own personal and mental health suffers because you're giving everything else to everyone, then really the kids aren't going to benefit from that.
Yeah,
Because imagine you come home to a parents arguing every single night, but I'm just giving everything to the kids.
That's one thing. Another thing is, if you don't continue to develop as a person, your kids will surpass you when they're 15.
Yeah.
And then it's like, who do they turn to then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they have no one that they can depend on. And I say that because I reckon I still have the most selfless mother in the world. Like if I called my mum now and said, hey, there's a shirt on my floor, we don't live together, I live on my own. If I said there's a shirt on my floor in my room, you need to drive, it'll be at least a 40-minute drive from where she lives. You need to drive, pick it up, take it home, wash it, dry it, I need it tonight. She would go do it right now.
Yeah.
Like she would do anything, not just for me, for any of her kids. But I also saw her go through a point where when we all grew up, she lost her identity
Yes.
because she had nothing. She was like, she lived for her kids, and then all of a sudden her kids
grow
didn't
up.
her anymore.
Yeah.
And then she just didn't know what to do with herself.
And that's the struggle I'm encountering at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, but the good thing is you're still very young and our kids are still very young. And I think for you, it's like, well, so give a bit of context. What did you do? Tell everyone what you did before we had kids, when you were working.
Yeah, I was in real estate for several years. Didn't love it.
I would say
Made it
I would
easy, I
change
guess,
that.
for me to be a stay-at-home mum and give George that opportunity to pursue his dreams.
But I would say you hated it.
I did. I hated it. I suppose I've never really found my thing.
Yeah.
in
See,
life.
I find
It's just because you haven't done enough. Like, you haven't tried
that's all it is.
things.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I think it's just you got to try things out. And for yourself, I kind of get your dilemma too, because I think you would be quite entrepreneurial in the sense that you would do really well if you had your own business.
Yes.
But it's a matter of
focused.
it's a matter of
I could
finding
even
what it
start
is.
my own podcast after this.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
We're going to $1 billion days.
Oh, that's
Tune
better.
in.
We'll lease you the studio.
Who would need a sponsor?
Yeah. Legacy Media.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, so I've always seen you as having that that entrepreneurial mindset, because even with other things, we never speak business at home other than me telling you what's going on, like high level stuff. I'll never say, what do you do here? What do we should I buy an excavator? Should I buy a new ute? We don't have that level of conversation. But sometimes it could be like, nah, fuck that client. They shouldn't do this. Blah 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 blah. So we can have still a level of conversation. So I've seen it in you that you've got that drive. And I think once you, as you said, try something and you find and you go, hey, you know what? I could do this. It could be anything. It could be
It's
a cafe owner. It could be selling cushions,
Yeah,
like
it could be
whatever.
an e-commerce store, like a Shopify store.
That's right. That's right. And once you have that, I reckon you would really do well and thrive at it. I think for yourself, it's just a matter of really just got to try stuff, isn't it?
Do you know what I think you should do? Makeup.
Makeup.
I would dive into the makeup industry.
Remember we said that company to buy? Yeah.
I would dive straight into it.
Yeah. Why do
I
you say
would,
that?
Why? Because I spend way too much time watching chicks put on makeup on Instagram. Yeah, way too much time. And there is so many different, like, it's actually fascinating how much, I had no idea how in depth it was. Like, you see a girl putting on makeup and you look and then she's done. But when you actually watch how many
transformation,
dude,
like from start to finish.
yeah, but also like how many layers, like it is a big billions and billions
Yes.
Yeah, but
and
there's a
billions.
huge competition out there, though.
There's
for
also,
makeup.
I know, but I also think that it is not going away. It is only becoming more and more and more
Well,
prominent.
probably especially with how social media is.
Dude, how can Kylie Jenner go and launch a brand and become a billionaire within a year? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but she
I
has
get,
a
yeah.
massive brand
She had a
before.
brand.
I know, but if you could have the biggest brand in the world, if you launch something there isn't a demand for, it's not going to happen. Very few people have launched something and become a billionaire like that.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor did it with alcohol. The
Yeah,
Rock
but
did it with alcohol.
All these people had
One
a
girl did it with
massive
makeup.
profile, though.
Yeah, but that is just reaching your audience.
Yeah.
The thing has to be wanted. If she launched hot dogs, she wouldn't become a billionaire.
Yeah.
Because not that many people are keen on hot dogs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you're tapping into a market where there's this demand. And I just think there's a huge demand in it. But I think it is ridiculous, a big advantage. Why does Rihanna do it?
What
Like
does she do?
Fenty.
I don't even know what she does.
She's got a makeup.
Does she?
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
I know too much about the shit.
You know way too much, bro. Like,
Sorry.
I'm just finding out new shit about you. Dude, didn't know you're into makeup.
Billions.
You're wearing
and
makeup now,
billions.
aren't you?
I wear makeup every day. Took me 3 hours to get ready. Watch Instagram tutorials. Sick.
Yeah.
I would 100% get into it. Without a doubt, I think it is a huge market. And yes, you're right. There is a lot of competition, but I think there is so much more demand that you can go in and still compete. And you don't have to compete with Kylie Jenner straight up,
No.
but compete with
We were looking a little while ago to buying a skincare product, a skincare company. We're looking, and look, it still might come to fruition. It's not completely shut, but the idea was, again, the great thing is now I've got resources to help, like in your ventures. Do you know what I mean? If you said to me tomorrow, I want to start a clothing brand, just doing t-shirts, I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Here's a 50 grand loan, go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And then the business can pay me back, hopefully, one day.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's also resources in the sense of, cool, do this site, do this, get the videos done here, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? We've got all the connections.
Yeah, like you just redid all my websites,
Yeah.
all of them, and they're sick. Like it's just gone to that next level, and it's so true. Our years in business now, like it's like, what do you do? So you meet someone for the first time, say, hey George, what do you do with yourself? Like the first thing is people say they identify with their profession.
Like,
So I am a builder.
Yeah.
I am a marketer. I am a florist. But he's like, what do you,
I don't say that.
yeah, I used to. I don't anymore. It's like, what do you do? Business.
Yeah.
I do business. Or what do you do with yourself? I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Family man. Like that's what I am. Yeah, I live. I try and do, just when, I actually show you whenever it's, what are you doing with this? I just do sick shit.
Yeah, just
do sick stuff all the time.
mad.
So I've tried to change that a little bit as well because people identify with their profession, but they are not their profession. I don't know where I was going with that, but just a little pet
We're trying
but
to convince Nicole to open a business.
yeah, well, sometimes the funny thing is it's all you need sometimes is that spark. It's just that one idea and it just goes, okay, maybe tonight I'm going to start researching whatever materials from a certain country that I can import and do this and do this. And you went to Canton Fair the other day in China. Like there's somewhere sick we should go. You get like the ideas you get. It's a place not made up. Yeah. You went there and you're like looking at all these different things. You could buy literally anything. You can buy these little knobs for this podcast arm. Do you know what I mean? Like you can buy anything there, and that might just spark you going, okay, maybe I can import these things. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do this.
You know what else is I think is a really good business where this is probably not as advantageous to be a chick. I think it's still an advantage, but I don't think it's as much as makeup would be.
Yeah.
Skin, like aesthetics, Botox,
Absolutely.
fillers. Yeah. Skincare, chemical peels and all that.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how much their margins are? How much fucking money they make?
Yeah. Nicole knows someone that does it, and yeah, she's in a prominent suburb and just killing it.
Multi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great business. And the thing that
I had a mate that's a doctor, our friend that we both know. And I told him, I said, dude, he's a GP. I said, mate, what the fuck are you doing?
specialize.
Yeah.
Niche.
I said get into that space.
Yeah, massive space.
But I find, see, this is funny where some people aren't entrepreneurial like that. He's like, no, the insurance is too high. Who cares? Pay it. Like you'll make 10 times more. But he had that mindset. He's got that comfort of, no, I'm just going to be a GP. Like I'll make my good 200, 300 a year.
Yeah.
Sit here, make good money. Why am I going to go out? Because, dude, you could make 10 times that in a year. And he's a good-looking bloke too. So the women would probably flock to him as a result of knowing he's in that space. I said to him, I go, you've got to go out and do other stuff.
It's funny how people have those blockages, huh?
It is, because and that's what I say. I don't think you have that blockage.
No.
You're not risk adverse. I think your family is.
Yeah.
Which is that influences too, I reckon. Do you think that? Do you think your family, if your parents or mum or dad or brother, sister, like they're the type that never took any risk, do you reckon that would have an influence on you to go out and take risks and start a business?
Yeah, so with that sort of stuff, you'll either do what they do or you'll go the opposite way completely.
And I think you've gone the opposite way.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Because I look at the rest of your family, they're very much like, no, this is our lane, this is what we're going to do. Like work, get a good job, or go to school, work, get a good job, buy a house, die. Or retire, die. And then that's it. Like don't do anything else. Stay in your lane, stay here where it's safe with me.
Yeah.
Whereas you haven't ever been like that, I don't think. I think you've been the black sheep in the family.
Yeah, there's always one.
Yeah.
In the family. Like
think so.
no one in my family. I'm pretty sure half my family don't know what I do. I asked my mum the other day, I was like, you know what I do? Like, she's like, it's ads, yeah? I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, good. Making sure.
Someone's got to like them.
Yeah.
Someone's got to like all the posts.
Shout out to my mum, likes every single one of our posts. How cute.
That's so good.
Yeah. So makeup business.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're getting into. So
Good space.
it's funny. So, you have those different stages. You have don't get me wrong, guys. There's a lot of really good moments everywhere there too. But now the conversation for us has changed again because, me and you talk a lot about, the whole concept of this podcast being called $1 Million Days, about our journey to making a significant amount of money, what that looks like. And I want to tell a story, actually. Yeah, I'm going to tell a story, which I've told you a little bit of, and you too, but not our viewers. So you get to tune in for the first time. So I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast, but I sold the car the other day and it was empty, no petrol, zero. Like it had this much left before I handed it over to him. And I went and filled it up with petrol and I gave him a full tank of petrol when he left that that day and picked up the car.
So he's taken the car?
He's taken the car.
Was he pumped?
Pumped. Loved it.
What, did you tell him?
Absolutely, I told him. I'm not going to let him get away with not knowing. Absolutely, I told him.
What was his reaction?
He's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, you didn't have to do that. I said, mate, my pleasure. My pleasure. So, like, thinking about your life in abundance, not in scarcity. All right. If you want more happiness in your life, give more happiness. If you want more wealth in your life, well, give more wealth. If you want more love in your life, give more love. And we were having this conversation the other day, and I was like, I'm going to do this not because of, like, if I'm being scarce and thinking, oh no, I'm not going to fill that up. It's $150. It's $150. Why am I going to give this to a stranger? He just bought my car and he's negotiated me down, to a price that isn't the price I was trying to sell it for. And now I'm going to give him a full tank of petrol. So no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to give him that. And having that whole shift of mindset in not just that petrol thing, but in everything, right? We lost, I've got to be careful how I say this now. So I, at some stage, I've sued someone for money that they owed me. And it was funny, we were at mediation not long ago. And the whole premise behind it was we either make a deal on that day and we come to an agreed figure that someone pays someone, or we both walk away. And then the consequence of going the whole way would have been over $100,000 for both parties to just see it through to court.
Just in fees?
Just in legal fees, yeah, legal costs. It would have been at least that. And then you're putting it in the hands of a judge. So no matter how strong your case is, you don't know what side of the bed the judge woke up in the morning and who he's going to side with on the day. So there was an element of risk there no matter how strong your case is. And mine was the stronger of the two from what I saw. But I was speaking with my barrister at the time, and I said, you know what? Over the course of the next 4 or 5 months that this case is going to go on, I'm going to have to spend 120 grand. I'm going to have to invest a lot of time giving you documents, going over all these other things. And I'm going to have to focus on something that's really a negative, bad debt.
Yeah, it's an emotional investment.
That's right. And plus, there's consequences if you lose as well. So I'm looking at that and I was like, you know what? Over the next 4 months, not only am I going to make that money, but I'm also going to triple it, because I'm going to focus on things that I can actually bring in, the good projects, the good clients, the good deals. Like, imagine I spend 120 grand on ads in the next 4 months. How different that's going to be to my life as opposed to spending 120 on a solicitor. And I was speaking to my barrister about that, and she's like, you are one of the most practical people I've ever come across, actually. She goes, I do a lot of these cases and not many people have that mindset to you. Anyway, long story short, we ended up coming to an agreed movement where we just both walk away bearing our costs. That's it. Right. So not my desired result, but in the grand scheme of things, I actually felt quite good about it. And do you know what happened? So this went on all day. So I was there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The second I walked out of that building in the city, do you know what happened? I had a phone call from a client who I priced a job for 3 months ago. A missed call, because he called me whilst I was in there. Looked at my phone, that's interesting. Gave him a call back. Said, g'day mate, how you going? He's like, oh, George, thanks for calling me back. He goes, look, I know I've been taking a while. I've been sitting on it. I've really wanted to make this thing work, and great news. We've got the money. We want to go ahead. We want you to build it. And this is a significant project. Like, this will be one of my highest grossing projects. All right. And me just having that whole abundance mindset, I believe, was the reason that call came through. It's like you almost manifested it. And it was such a fist pump moment for me, going, you know what? I can't believe everything I've been practicing and talking about is coming to fruition. And that was really amazing when I saw that happen. But then I take it a step further. That's just in the money aspect. We have a lot of conversations lately about doing things now that in your life that are going to be amazing, and going, whether it's holidays, whether it's experiences, whether it's doing things with the kids, the way we act with the kids when we're home, all these sorts of things, so it can translate into a bigger, better, greater version of ourselves. And I see that that's our next evolution in our life and our relationship. Is we're at that point now where I think we're quite mature, in the sense of we're still, when I say mature, I think we've done the reps, as we like to say. We've done the reps in our relationship, and we've gone through really good times. We've gone through really hard times. I've openly said, COVID was the worst time in my life, from a business point of view. But then it was also really bad for us in relationship point of view. Not to the sense that we were doing anything intentionally detrimental. Like I wasn't coming home going, I'm going to show this bitch up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It wasn't anything like that. And it wasn't like I'm going to walk in the door and she's like, when he's home, he's fucked. Like I'm going to throw the pot at him. You know what I mean? It was never anything.
Was that you?
That was
Weapon of choice.
Go
ahead.
Someone's got to cook.
Yeah.
It's not fucking me, is it?
Get back. What did you say? What did you say in the other episode?
I don't know.
Do I look like I belong in the kitchen?
I'd never said that, Roberts. I would never say that. Let the record state.
Of course not.
Never said that.
Boys.
Current affair. You have our number.
Yeah. You know.
So, yeah, and it was never intentional that we were going to do that. But the way, I get the situation. I know.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Oh, the situation was extreme, but why the fuck wasn't I better? Why not? Why did I have to let that situation make me a worse person? A shittier husband, a shittier father, a shitty business owner?
You got to look at it like this, okay? Progression happens over a time span. Like if you were the same person you are today, then that would mean that you haven't grown from then till now.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other way around. Do you know what I mean? But you're always going to, you should look back. You know, I think I mentioned this on the last thing. You should always look back and say, like, I thought I knew shit back then, but that guy was an idiot. You know? Yeah. But at the point, you did know stuff. But you've just continued to grow over time. And COVID was tough for everyone except me.
Except you loved it?
Dude, I had, if anyone, I lived with two mates. I lived with my cousin and my friend. And we all had time off work. And we all had
Were you working at the dealership then?
Working at real estate. We all had a PlayStation.
Oh,
we all went and bought Call of Duty from Harvey Norman in Maribyrnong. And every single night we would get on and play Warzone. And everyone would sit in their rooms with the headsets on and we'd jump on Warzones, trios, and we would just play for 8 hours every single night, dude.
And get paid for it.
And I was getting paid. It was sick.
Yeah.
It was so good for me, man.
Our brother-in-law, so Nicole's sister's husband, similar scenario, except he just sat at home and drank and smoked cigars, not weed or anything, but he just sat at home. He goes, that was a great time for me. He goes, I was getting paid. Right, he goes, I actually made more money because he used to, like, they would all often go out, have lots of dinners.
Yeah, there's no
spending.
Yeah.
So he goes, I was actually saving money and I was getting paid and I wasn't working. And he had his own business too, but he was just heavily subsidized by the government. Whereas for us, we copped the short end of the straw. Like our business went from millions to almost zero. And so I had that pressure to deal with. Then I came home and indirectly took it out on the family. And I don't say I did it purposefully, but I'd come home and I'd just be so drained, so tired, so not there emotionally, physically. I'd be on the couch, be watching TV, the kids would be playing. And instead of me playing with them, I was like, guys, be quiet. Do you know what I mean? Like a dick.
It's a bit of a drainer.
Yeah. But then in the same token, but then that's where you build that resentment too. Because Nicole would be resentful to me going, look at this dickhead.
Yeah,
I've been stuck. I've been stuck in these.
And he got to go to work. Yeah, he got to leave and go to work, and he comes home.
Homeschooling. She would even think about that. Yeah, and then I'd come home. Oh, look at this. Fucking stay home all day. Oh, homeschooling. I wish I could have that. I just got reamed for $80,000 today. What did you do? Do you know what I mean? Or whatever it might be. But there was that resentment both ways, and there's the lack of communication. There's that lack of connection. There's that lack of so many things that weren't going right that accumulated and then put significant pressure on the relationship. I was in the worst shape of my life then as well. Wasn't looking after myself, was eating shit. Like unhealthy person, mind, spirit, body, in all aspects of my life. But you're completely right. If I was still that person today, you're a piece of shit. I know, look guys, make no mistake. Another COVID is coming. It's going to come. It might not be in the form of a global pandemic, but it will be another GFC of some sort. Now, I'm not saying it's coming next year. It'll probably be in 10 years' time. 2030. Lock it in.
Might be
you heard it here first.
Might be too old to play Call of Duty then.
Yeah, might be. Well, you won't be getting paid by the government at that stage. You'll be owning your business.
Could be universal basic income.
But the point I'm making is I realized that I wasn't the best version of myself during that time. And that's partly the reason why I joined groups and people where I could become better. And that's where we met. And that's how we became friends. I was a business course that we were doing, and that led onto one thing, led onto another. And then I was just surrounding myself by good people, which in turn turned me into a good person as well. Or just helped me see things where I was lacking in my life, And then that was a really powerful thing for me. And then I was able to come home, be that better version of myself, which then came onto the kids, which then came onto Nicole. And now we're both growing in that direction. But yeah, what I was saying is another GFC will happen again. The difference will be next time it happens is I'm not going to be reactive. I'm going to be proactive. I'm like, cool, Nicole, come here. This is what we have to do now. Cool, we're locked in our house for the next 6 weeks. This is what we're going to do. Every week we're going to do this. Every day, every night, every this. I'm going to tell you every second. If you're upset about something, let's talk about it. These are my jobs. These are my clients. Cool. These clients, I'm going to tell them we're stopping the jobs unless you pay $1,000 a day in damages, whatever it is, because we can't continue. Employees, you're fired. Sorry. Hope to get you back when things are better. Yeah. Honestly, I promise you, I will fire every fucking person at this company. Not because I hate you. Because if the ship goes down, everyone sinks. Everyone sinks. And that's what nearly happened, because I did everything possible to look after everything and everyone at my detriment. The business, my mental and physical health. All right. And spiritual health.
That's just, you got to look at that. That's the price you paid for the lesson.
It was the price I paid. Now, I will never be willing to pay that price again. Never.
Well, you'd be silly to pay the same thing for the same thing.
Yeah, like exactly. And I look at people such as, I'll use Grant Cardone. We mentioned him a little bit in this podcast. GC, next time you're in Melbourne, see you soon. Get your special guest on the podcast. But he, in 2008, he was in a very similar position. He was being sued by someone for millions of dollars. He nearly lost his whole business. And he goes, everything I look back at that time in my life, he goes, I wasn't prepared for it. So then when the next thing happened, which was COVID after GFC, he goes, he was completely prepared. He went in and fired 200 people in his business. He went and got rid of whole sections of his organization. He grabbed his family. He bought a penthouse on the top floor of a building. He goes, we lived there on beach views, made sure I was away from everything and everyone. Didn't do this. And then he went and he became a billionaire during COVID because he bought so much property because everyone was selling. And he's like, cool, I'll take that.
Yeah, he understood the game.
He understood the game, and I'd like to feel that I understand the game now.
Yeah,
I'm just talking from business. I'm talking from business and life. I understand it a lot better. I feel like I have a lot more clarity in that space.
And so you should. And hopefully, in 5 years' time, you look back at now and say, man, I wish I knew what I knew now then.
Yeah.
Because that means you keep growing, right?
Yeah.
That thing Jimmy Carr says, I think I shared it last time, is you should feel imposter syndrome every 18 months. That means you're growing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should feel like you don't belong because now that means you've moved forward. Otherwise, if you get comfortable with where you are, it just means you're doing the same shit.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you want for the kids when they grow up from a sense of life and career?
Life and career from the kids. All I care about is their happiness, I think. And that's on us, I think. As role models, we've got to show them happiness and what happiness is, right?
Well, they learn.
I think society has taught us to go to school, go to uni, get a job, make money. For me, you need to be happy in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a core value of yours.
Absolutely.
Being happy. But we've mentioned this a few times as well. Like the kids will see what we do.
One more thing, I was just saying, there's so many doctors that we know, so many lawyers, so many people in these professions who are making okay money, but they're just so unhappy within themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, again, pressures from me. Probably there. One of someone I know is like that. It's like, he said to me, he goes, I wish I was a blue-collar worker, but I only ever knew being a doctor. Like the only option for me was to be a doctor. My parents weren't going to, it's either you're a doctor or you're a failure. Like, which one do you want to be? And that's all it ever was for him. He goes, I've never had any other option. I've never known anything else other than this path. Now, yeah, you're right. Is he in that because he loves it?
That's
because he enjoys helping? Yeah, but it's also, if you think about it from a further back generation, especially being stereotypical, I don't know what's it like for you, Iggy, in Mongolia. Is there that pressure to be doctors, like really high accountants, lawyers? Do you have that sort of pressure in Mongolia or anything like that from a society point of view? Because a lot of Asians, like Chinese people, Japanese people, have that sort of, no, you're a doctor or you're a failure. Do you know what I mean?
Doctor, lawyer, or...
Yeah.
That's unique man.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and kids will watch what you do, not listen to what you say. So we can't say, hey, be happy. I'm happy. Can't you see that I'm fucking happy? You need to be happy.
Yeah, come here all the time.
That's right. But this is where we're saying, like, this is where you can't be selfless there. That's you being selfless, going, you guys need to be happy. Yeah. Like, don't listen to us that we're arguing.
Look at what I do for you.
Yeah.
Look at all we do for you to make sure you got this stuff. You don't care about it. And you're like, they're noticing what you're doing.
That's right.
No.
Whereas if you're genuinely happy at home, they see that. Yeah. They go, oh, fuck, why wouldn't I listen to my parents? They know what's going on. They know what's up. You know?
Yeah.
You know, one thing I would wish for my children as well is I don't want them to have an easy life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want them to have an easy life. I want there to be difficulties in their life because I want them to build that resilience to overcome hard things.
I think the biggest mistake parents make with that part is because everyone, like, you will have difficulties. It's about not solving the problem for them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, work it out.
It's hard.
That's hard.
We
Yeah.
have to give them the tools
It's hard.
to solve their own issues.
Yeah, I mean, like our kids, and it happens with every kid. Happened with me, probably happened with you. I know it's happened with you. Like, you go into school, you might get bullied. Your friends might not like you. Your teacher doesn't like you. You suck at sport, or you're no good at maths, right? And then that kid feels really down and out about it. And as a parent, you want to come in, come here, sweetie, like, let me hug you. I'll keep you safe. Don't worry about the mean old teacher or that silly friend. Whereas, you know, I hear, so Nicole puts the kids to bed most nights, and I hear some of the conversations that she's having with them, and it's like, whatever it is, Sarah said this about my hair, and, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. And she's like, well, yeah, we've said this in our trainings and also in podcasts. I was like, I don't like your blue hair. Trying to give them those tools that you need to sort this out on your own, right? So tell Vivian, tell Sarah or Jessica or whoever it is, or Peter, tell him, like, I don't care that you don't like that. And especially in this world of social media, like we were having the conversation. Our son's getting to that age where he's like, he wants a phone. And I'm really against it at the moment. And I think you were okay with it up until lately. But they don't have the tools yet to be able to handle
The emotional maturity
Yeah, that's exactly right.
comes with it.
To handle kids blocking them on a group chat or someone texting you after school saying, you're ugly. I don't think they've got that in them yet. We never had that when we were younger, and you're obviously the same too. We never had, that level of connection outside of school.
Yeah.
So I think it can be a lot more brutal now, and you need to have that that resilience in you as a kid, and that self. What's the word I'm looking for?
I think there is because so you think about it from the kids aspect, right? Have you been in a position where everyone's doing something and you can't do it?
Yeah,
not in the sense of you can't. It's like
your parents won't.
Yeah. Like,
absolutely.
Like, I can't go to that party, or I can't do that thing, and then that is like you feel like you're missing out as a kid as well.
Without a doubt. But even older, like when we were dating, Nicole's parents didn't want us to go overseas together when we were dating. Mind you, we were mid-20s.
We were engaged. We couldn't even...
No, we weren't engaged. Anyway,
it was pretty extreme.
Yeah, but look, again, traditional Greek parents. No, you move out when you get married. You know what I mean?
As long as you're under my roof.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
That's exactly.
Well,
And it's like, that's right. So you go to your kids now and you say, oi, my house, my rules, do this. You want to do it, or piss off. And I'll never speak to you ever again. Like, how's that good?
Yeah, dude.
I get there should be a level of, I would try and
Different generations. Generations.
I would try to do it more from a respect thing, not you have to do
You gotta-
this.
you gotta-
You can do whatever you want. You're a grown-ass man, do what you want.
But life has gotten a lot better in the last 80 years.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, your parents grew up in a wartime.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And what did they get fed?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, don't leave the house because you might get killed.
Yeah.
You
It's
know
all,
what I mean?
it's all like, this is
But this is where we're saying that scarcity mindset. You're trying to protect your children.
Is it-
No, stay here where it's safe with me. Don't go out in the world.
but you're not.
No,
protecting
you're
them.
damaging
Yeah.
them. And we see this. Don't tell me, you should tell me off later, but like we see this with other kids. Do you know what I mean? We look at our kids and how we raise them and what we want to do with them, but you see it with other kids, how the parents are. And you're like, like if you're acting like that with the kid now,
Like
how's
the
that?
kid's got full-blown anxiety. Then you see the parents and they've got the anxiety.
Yeah, it's not the child. The child's fine. But it's the parent going, oh, no, don't do that. Stay here. No, she's got anxiety. She can't do that. Hang on, she's just bowling. Like, just let her push the ball down the thing. It's fine, you know?
But then the kid hears that and thinks, I must have anxiety.
I must have
Yes.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I do. But it's amazing how quick they pick this stuff up. You think they can't pick up a 7 to a 10-year-old can't pick up an iPad and say, and type into Google, do I have anxiety?
Dude,
You know what I mean? And then they get fed, oh, wow, I've got exactly that. I must have anxiety, and then believes it, and your beliefs become your reality.
my little cousin, I reckon she was 5 or 6, and she was like, oh yeah, the butterfly traumatized me. And I just looked at her like, traumatized? Like, I learned that word last year. Like, 5-year-old saying that sort of stuff just from YouTube. And she talks in an American accent as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's when you know
We had that with Peppa Pig when the kids were young.
they're watching too much. Like, isn't that what it means? They should consume so much that she picks up the language patterns.
Yeah.
She talks some of the things she says. Why'd you say it like that? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, traumatized at 6.
Yeah.
Anxiety at 7. Xanax by 9.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, no, but
Do you regret not going back to work earlier?
are you back at work now?
I'm not,
Yeah, working
but I'm definitely,
On the hunt?
I'm at that stage now of my life. The kids are a bit older.
Yeah.
I'm a bit focused on myself now and what I need to do to fulfill myself, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about? Okay, this is a good question. Do you want to come to work with me?
No fucking way.
Okay,
Unless
but
you want to get divorced.
but a lot of people is
That's
in
your
that
thing.
role.
That's
Yeah, I know,
your
but
thing.
I know.
I need to do my thing.
Yeah, I
have
get
no
that.
interest in.
I get that, but
construction.
sometimes do you appreciate that maybe some partners would feel a level of obligation to come and work for their partner? Like, so say now, I say, look, I need someone to do invoicing for me,
That's,
right? And then you come in because it's a family business. You come in, you do that role, and you don't even get paid for it because you're just helping the family business. So I think that's a huge mistake too. And I tell my business, my people I mentor, say, guys, look, you shouldn't get your wife into your construction company. And they're like, oh, why? Oh, in the sense of, depends what they're doing, first of all. And second of all, if they're doing it, if they're doing it because they have to, it's not ever going to be done to the level it needs to. If they're doing it because, you need someone just to fill a role, or you just want to give them a job so they're going to, feel like they're doing something, again, it's not going to work. And sometimes they use it as an opportunity to do something cheap instead of paying someone to do it. And I think that's a mistake too. Also, if you haven't been trained in as in educated in construction, you're not really helping. You kind of
the burden.
Yeah, exactly right. You're just doing paper pushing stuff. You'd be better off to employ someone who has education in construction to run an element of that business, as opposed to coming into this one or into that one. So I think some people make that mistake over the years.
Yeah, that's fair call. You do see a lot of couples that,
That's what I mean.
yeah, like a lot,
Yeah.
where,
And the thing
was
is, so me and it's like when you went on the jet ski, Nicole told you, oh, what are you doing on my jet ski? Right? So she's not afraid to tell people how it is. You know what I mean? It's like when I said, do you want to come work with me? Like, I've got a job, I'll pay you. I'll give you money, plus super. And you'll probably get paid the same as some of the men here. Who would know?
Stop.
But she's like, no fucking way. Like, why would I come work with you? I don't want to. It doesn't have that interest. So
what sort of job do you want?
I want to do something where I have full control.
So to me, that
I
says
enjoy.
a business though.
A business.
Yeah.
Um,
You just got to find out. I think you're right. You just got to test the water. Start thinking about things, try some stuff. Yeah.
Go work for a few different people, see if you like that space, and then go do your own thing in it.
Yeah, it could be a matter of that too.
Go work at a cosmetics place.
Here we go. Back to makeup.
Robbie just wants a slice of the pie.
Yeah,
He's like,
I'm an investor. I'm like,
yeah. Or he's just going to watch
buy it.
He's going to watch your videos.
We'll make all the videos. We'll make all the Instagram reels for business. What kind of deal?
Sounds
Got a deal.
Oh, guy.
No fucking around. Where do you see us in 10 years time? So what are we 50? Shit.
On a yacht.
On a
No, we're thinking bigger than
10
that.
years. Bigger than that?
Thinking bigger than
Well,
it.
10 years. 10 years is a long time.
Yeah, there'll be flying yachts in 10 years. How's the technical?
Chopper on the flying yacht.
Yeah, so stop around, put in the water.
Robbie's getting helicopter lessons. You know that?
I do.
Is it? You been lately?
But I've got one booked in for, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Aston, I sent you that. Aston Martin are making choppers now.
Oh, sorry.
So
So I put a pre-order in.
it's got 10 years time.
Guest list. Wait list. Yeah, answer the question. That's you.
It's time.
50 years old. Shit.
10 years.
It's
The
like,
kids.
you've
the kids
chuffed
will be
yourself.
adults.
Yeah, wow. So, yeah, that's right.
so how old are the
changing
kids
our
now,
lives.
just for context?
10 and 7.
So 20 and
So 20
17.
and 17.
So it'll be not coming home for days. And my license soon. Yeah. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Interesting question, isn't it?
It's a tough one.
Because you can say it from a perspective of, it's funny. I've never thought about that in 10 years.
Yeah.
A long time.
I think it's
Okay.
hard to fathom.
Okay. Did you think we would be where we are today 10 years ago? So 10 years ago, you were pregnant with our first child. So fast forward 10 years.
So 2014.
Yeah. 2014, a year. We were married for a year at that stage. Or 8 months.
I didn't think you would be as successful as you are, I think. I think I'd completely underestimated.
They always do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, going back to COVID, there was a silver lining there. And no regrets, I think, because it's made us who we are today. And we did go through that really tough patch and we have come out the better side. George,
Could have gone
so
the other
watch
way,
George go through all that training over the last few years to be the best version of himself has been the best thing to watch, I think, over the last few years. And to see him come out on the other side, I'm very proud to see him grow that much over the last few years. So no, we couldn't have predicted a global pandemic, I guess. So short answer, no, I did not see us to be where we are now.
I mean, the thing that I'm most proud of, and I know you are too, the thing I'm most proud of is our children. Like, I love kids, man. Love it. It's like the best thing we've ever done. Like, by far. I know people say, what's the meaning of life? Like, just kids. That's it. Nothing else matters. I'm clucky now. Like, I would have, if Nicole said to me tonight,
have
so
some
you have some kids.
Have a few kids.
Because I'm how about, oi, let's go. Like, I want to have more. And the reason I say that is because it's, like, my daughter's 7. She's still cute and, like, adorable and all that sort of stuff, but she's getting older. Like, I looked at a video I sent you the other day, and it's when I walked in the door. You're going to see this soon, Niggy, too. I walked in the door, and, like, both the kids ran. Look at a long hallway. They run down. They're like, Daddy, 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 Daddy. And I looked at it, and I was, like, crying.
Yeah, now you've
Like,
got
I
the
missed
dog
that.
that runs up.
Yeah,
Lick shit at him.
that's right. But, like, I miss that, man. And I'm, like, looking at it, I'm like, fuck, I could have 10 more kids. And 10 more kids.
You want to?
But I love...
If you can birth them, you can have them.
Yeah, but this goes back to what we were saying. Yeah, that, obviously. But obviously, only one person can do that.
One gender.
Just one gender.
Here we go. Here we go.
Aaron Affair.
That knock on the door.
Say we did have another kid. It'd be completely different. I would be completely different. From the start.
To stay home and cook and clean
Kind of feel like a good...
and raise the
That'd be a nice
kids.
break.
Why not? See you 2024, baby.
Take the easy life.
That's it.
The easy life.
I don't
Play
know.
PlayStation for 8 hours. I'll call you up. We can play Call of Duty. So good.
I'll take that out.
So yeah, go back. So that's definitely the thing I'm most proud of. And I often find just lately, and I think I said this to you the other day or someone else, I find there's been times in the last 6 months that I felt sorry for myself because I wasn't where I wanted to be. I thought we would be further along in various aspects. But then I look back and go, the things that I'm feeling sorry for myself for are
And monetary.
Yeah.
They're superficial things.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you
right.
really need them?
That's right. They're things that I was like, because honestly, I honestly thought by the time I'm 40, it'd be house paid off, holiday house, which Lambo am I driving today? Are we taking the chopper? That's where I envisioned us being. And we weren't there. And so there was times where I'd feel sorry for myself, but I tend to quickly snap myself out of it, practicing gratitude, all that sort of stuff. And then even looking at stuff like that, man, like you got happy, healthy kids, if the closest 10 people in the world are happy and healthy around you, you've got a good life. Do you know what I mean? Everything else can be made. And if you go to zero, cool, we can go again. And that's probably the one thing that despite all the good, despite all the bad, I've always, always, always known that Nicole's been there, no matter what it was. Do you know what I mean? And I think having that, and maybe I took that for granted a couple of times, like especially say during COVID, like even though things might have been difficult and shit, I was like, oh, well, she's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? She's got it too good. But it wasn't about that. I just always knew there was nothing that was going to change in that aspect for me.
Yeah, you know what though? I could be wrong about this, but I think that's a good thought to have. Imagine what's the opposite thought?
Yeah.
Fuck, what if she leaves? Like, do you know what I mean? Imagine, or like vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or what if she leaves me? Like, imagine having that thought all the time, what that will do to you. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that's a bad thought all in all. It only becomes bad if you start to neglect and be a dick or whatever.
Yeah. But it also...
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's confidence in each other. Is it not?
But it's also unconditional love as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
No matter what, But we've grown together, right? Like we met when we were quite young. Everything we've done together.
Yeah, so immature. And we said this the other day when we're having dinner. It's like you never get a rule book, right? No one ever goes, boy, here.
Still don't get a rule.
Yeah, but it's like, but I'd like to think we can give our kids a bit more guidance now. But I wish, like even when we got married, like there's that, I think we spoke about that book that's 200 questions to ask your partner before you get married. I wish we read that book and asked each other those questions.
Read it now.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, probably still could and answer some of those questions for sure. They might not all of them might be relevant, but yeah, it's like, what are your expectations on this? What do you feel about this? Where are the kids being raised? Who's looking after them when we go away? What happens when we get a dog? All these questions, because I might think I'm totally fine with like leaving the dog at my mother-in-law's or my parents or my brother. But then Nicole would be like, I'd rather leave a child and take the dog. So, yeah.
What's the dog, by the way?
Sorry?
Breed is it?
Groodle.
I was looking at getting a groodle. Wow, that's a big groodle, huh?
Yeah, she's a big one. We got a horse.
Yeah, it's really big. No, I'm not going to get on that thing.
No, you can. We actually
Off the couch and shit.
No. Our dog was like a medium one.
Yeah, she's medium.
No, but we asked for a medium, and she grew bigger. She got the good genes,
and she doesn't shed, huh?
Nah. Yes. You got to get a dog that doesn't shed.
Yeah. I just can't.
That's fucking great. Nah. You'd be cleaning it. You could cleaning hair all the time.
I don't even own a vacuum.
Why would you? And your mum just comes over and vacuums.
That's it.
Right?
I wish.
Does your laundry.
I have a cleaner.
So this podcast often goes sideways. Yeah, but I mean, as I said, I could never have achieved anything in my life. Like I will forever be in your debt for the rest of my life. Like for the plain and simple fact of giving me kids and giving us kids and having that life. Yeah, I'm forever in Nicole's debt for that reason and that reason alone. But it's not just about being in debt. Like we wanted an extraordinary life. I don't want to just, how many people, and you may be in this position yourself now listening, but you're just going through the motions and you see like say an older couple in their 80s and they're just together because they don't know anything else.
Convenient.
It's convenient, or
settled.
they've settled, and it's not. It's like I never wanted just to be married. Like I never wanted just to be with someone for the sake of being someone. We always wanted to do. I have always wanted to have extraordinary things. Like I spoke about. Okay, by the time I'm 40, I got the car, the chopper, the yacht, the whatever, the houses. But that's just one aspect. Why not have the most amazing relationship that you could possibly have that people look at and go, holy shit, like how these people are cartoons. This isn't real. This is Disney or something, isn't it? You know, why couldn't you have that? Why can't your kids be the best kids, the happiest kids, the most...
Best version of ourselves, I think.
Exactly.
Is the most important thing. And we just keep growing and keep being better.
Oh, I'm trying to think of this quote, but it's fantastic. It's I'll be the best. So I'm the best version of me. Sorry?
Upside down?
No, I'm saying it's like something along the lines. If I'm the best version of myself, that is how to look after you, I need to be the best version of myself. That's it. So for me to look after Nicole, I need to be the best version of myself. For her to look after me, she needs to be the best version of herself. So it's not like you complete me, right? Because to say you complete me, it's like I'm half empty, right? So, but together, if we look after each other and we're a whole, then we're two wholes coming together. So I always like that concept, you know, being the best version of myself to be your best partner, be the best version of yourself to be my best partner, and then we come together, and together we're not a whole, we're two wholes, not half.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that concept. I heard you just reminded me of a thing. I think I heard Simon Sinek say it, and he goes, the best relationships, like regardless of whether it's an intimate relationship, if like husband, wife, or it's a business partners, or your best friend, or whatever it is, the best relationships is where each party thinks they've got the better end of the stick.
Absolutely.
So both parties think it. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I've got better end of the stick, and they feel like they've got the better end of the stick, and then you're like
that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then neither one feels like they've got the better end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we often joke that, but
like you scored.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I have to think it's like a batting out of my league. You know what I mean?
I do. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you do, George. You do, George. Yes, you are. You definitely.
No,
are.
but I often think all the time, I don't deserve him. Don't deserve him. Always.
I think I feel like that about you too.
I think that's healthy though.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a
I agree.
way to think.
I agree.
What would be a lot of people listening to this would be married or in a relationship. What would be some tips you want to share with them?
Good question.
To married couples.
Sure.
Okay, I'll go on. Don't stop dating.
As in going on dates?
Yeah, like don't stop trying. Just because you're married, and I think we did that for a little while. Because again, being selfless, giving ourselves to everything and everyone else, business, friends, family, kids. Don't stop dating, ever. That's my biggest advice. Like always do, and that doesn't necessarily mean, hey, date night, let's go. It can mean just, hey, let me cook tonight.
Do you date?
You know? It's something I want to do more. We haven't really.
We don't at the moment.
Yeah.
It's on our to-do list.
It's always, but I mean, we went out the other night, but the kids were with us.
That's not dating.
I know, that's right. That's what I mean. But, we'd planned, we have planned holidays away.
Yeah,
and we're continuing to. And I mean, even more so, we can still do it this year, but next year as well, I want to spend the start of the year. Actually, no, let's do it now. Let's not fuck around. Book our holidays out.
For the year?
For the year.
Yeah.
And say, cool.
Plan it.
And it doesn't have to be, it can be, say, one big holiday. And I think we're planning a big holiday next year. So one big holiday, but then all the little ones too. So around public holidays. Cool. Let's go here for the weekend.
Yeah. You got something to look forward to.
Yeah. And then the kids can see that too. We have a big calendar at home. So they know when all our holidays are. We have things to look forward to. I can go, cool, we're not planning any events on this long weekend because we're going to be in Sydney. We're going to climb the Harbour Bridge. We're going to do all that sort of stuff.
I think those memories as well make a childhood.
Yeah.
Like, do you have those memories?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We used to go to, I remember we used to go to Lakes Entrance.
Yeah, same. So
we
good.
used to go to Lakes Entrance heaps. And I remember going there as a kid and then going there a little bit older. And now I go there as an adult. And I'm like, fuck this place. It's not that good.
That is
Why would you
cool
take your
advice.
kids there?
Yeah. But they love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it does. It makes for great memories.
Yeah. So that's the first thing I would say. Don't stop dating because like it just becomes Groundhog Day, you know? And you always got to keep
anything in life, though.
Yeah, it's keeping that spark alive, but also like, remember why you married that person. It wasn't just to be with them. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just to go through the motions. Hey, honey, how was your day? Yeah, it's good. What'd you do? I played tennis. What'd you do? I just process some invoices.
Was it you telling me that you ask your kids a different question? You don't say, how was your day or how was school?
Yes, it was.
What did you learn?
No, I don't even say that. So it's like when you see the kids, when I see, and this, everyone should do this that's listening. When you see your kids, what's the first thing you're going to say? Hey guys, how was
Your day.
Yeah, but how was school?
Yeah.
What'd you do today at school? How was school? Yeah, it was okay. I ask them this instead. I said, what was the favorite part of your day? Because now every time I do, they stop and they think. Right? Because if I say it's lazy kind of, when you say, well, how was your day? What'd you do at school? Okay, it was all right. Now I say, well, what's the favorite part of your day? Was it playing on your iPad in the morning? Because it can be that. Was it kicking the footy? Was it when you finished school? Was it getting an ice cream? And it just opens a bit more of a conversation, that's all.
I think controls their focus as well.
Yeah, and we try to practice gratitude with them at night time as well. I found that's helped a lot. We have a rule in our house, no negativity as well. So it doesn't always work, but we try to remind them of that. So yeah, well, that was my one tip. What's yours?
Just to have,
one.
I think communication's probably the top of my list.
Yep. And look, don't get me wrong,
Communication.
we're still working on that.
Yeah.
Like it's not, hey, we clocked it.
Yeah.
We clocked communication. Tick. We've done that
Yeah,
one.
we don't have to talk anymore.
Yeah, that's it. We communicated
we
enough of the week.
Everything.
That's
We did our 90 minutes a week.
Send me an email.
Yeah, don't talk to me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm casting.
Yeah, I think communication's forever. It's a forever project. Like if you stop, it stops.
Yes.
Yep.
I would also say another thing. Do things that are exciting. I like to think lately I try to surprise you a bit. When I say lately, the last 12 months or so.
Yeah, then you buy a car.
Things. Yeah.
Is that all?
I was there.
Oh, yeah?
Picking up the car with Nicole. I was with you.
That's right.
Yeah, picking up the car with Nicole. She's got no idea.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. No, there's been some outrageous surprises over the last year or so. Yes.
What's been the best one?
Oh, good question.
Oh,
There's the three main ones.
between the car, the Rolex, and probably the trip to Vegas to go see Kylie Minogue in concert was probably
The best one?
most special one, I think. Just it wasn't the actual
Present
gift
itself.
itself; it was the surprise and the effort that went into it.
Yeah.
There's actually a whole podcast about it.
What's this?
Okay, I really
Remember
need
that?
to
You're like,
listen to a
when's this
podcast.
airing?
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, cool, guys, listen.
It's okay. I don't listen to the podcast anyway.
There's a whole podcast
Maybe
episode.
this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think make it exciting. Don't do boring, mundane shit. Yeah, communication's great. Date nights are great, but don't just let it be the same thing every single time.
It's to show appreciation to
It's like
those gestures.
show that you care.
Yeah.
Show that you care. Show that I value everything. Honest, and look, I'm probably don't say this enough to you. Like I am so grateful, so genuinely grateful that you cook dinner every night, that I am wearing clean clothes, that they're ironed, that the house is clean. I don't do any of that. And that's not me being the man. That's because Nicole's doing it as supporting our family. I'm doing this as supporting my family. Do you know what I mean? I don't come home and say, hey, thank me for making $100 today. Do you know what I mean?
That's all you made today.
Made that whilst been talking the last 5 minutes. So like I'm forever grateful for that because I don't need to. Okay, not that I don't need to. It's not like on the weekends I get home like, cool, that's your job. You load the dishwasher. I'll like every mornings on weekends I'll cook the kids. I make the kids breakfast. Nicole can sleep in. She does her thing. Gets up, goes, takes the dog for a walk, get her coffee, and I'll look after the kids. Then we go to do our day things. So you can still contribute as well. Do you know what I mean? I think. Okay, I'm reading a book at the moment. what's it called? I just started it last night. I'll come back. It'll come to me in a second. Anyway. And
What's it about?
It's about fire out. It's called, I'll tell you in a second. Actually, I'll tell you right now. Give me a second, guys.
Are you reading it or listening to it?
Both.
You do both.
Oh, A Man's Guide to Women.
Jesus.
And Mike, give me a copy of that.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send it to you. I can't remember. I was listening to someone. Chris Wilk. I always get his surname wrong.
Williamson.
Williamson. Yeah, I was listening to his podcast and he made reference to this book.
Or Chris Wills or whatever.
Chris Wills or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get it wrong.
Is it Wills or Williamson?
It's not hard. I don't know what it is, but we've got to sort it out.
No, he's got to sort it out. Get your shit together, Chris.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
I'm with you. He was reading something out of the book and it was interesting to read. Where was I going with that?
What's the book about?
Yeah, so, it's pretty self-explanatory. Man's Guide to Women. But what it was saying in the first chapter, the success of a relationship is more prominent on the man's actions than the woman's. It is more dependent on what the man does or doesn't do than what the woman does. Even though it's the women that probably instigate divorces, fights, all these sorts of things in the moment, it's primarily based, the successful relationships are primarily based on what the man does or doesn't do. It was interesting. I've only read like the first chapter.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, but yes, but no. Because doesn't mean you got to sacrifice yourself to make you happy, because that won't work either. You know, because this is going to make Nicole happy, even though I hate it, but I'll do it because it's just going to make her happy, so she shuts up.
But then
You know what I mean?
you'll do something else in resentment.
Yeah, like indirectly or directly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so coming back to that, so I've, and everyone might think, oh, what a weird book to read, you know, all this, you're reading it now. But think about it this way, yeah? I know, right? Think about it this way, and it's interesting. I invest in my business. I invest in property. I invest in whatever it is, stocks, crypto. I invest in educating myself. You get a mentor. You do all these things, investing, reading other books to learn to become a better person spiritually, mentally, physically. I'm at the gym every day, almost every day. So I'm investing in my body. Why wouldn't I invest in my relationship?
Yeah. Health, wealth, relationships.
Why wouldn't I invest in my relationship? So that book may be a waste of my time. It may get 3 things. It may get 1 thing out of it.
Yeah, see, I believe a book is now, you could read it and know everything in there. Even that in itself.
Could disagree with it.
No, but you could say like, yeah, I already knew all this. That in and of itself, it's just reassurance. Like you got something out of it. Yeah, I got all over this.
Yeah.
I'm a gun. You know what I mean? It might be that. You'll always get something out of a book, man. Always.
Yeah.
It might be like, I'm never reading this again. But
So I'm looking at that as just me training myself. How do I be a better husband? How do I be a better partner? Because it's life partner. It's not just week partner, month partner, year partner. It's life partner. So how do I become the best version of that for us?
nice.
Yeah.
So you got to read
Never stop.
A Woman's Guide to Men.
Yeah. It's 3 pages. It's 3 pages long.
That book exists. Yeah.
How good. All right. It's been a pretty cool chat today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. What time's dinner?
What do you...
Oh, shit.
Always had to throw something in.
I too. I'm going to be eating takeout tonight.
Yeah. Any well, I'll join you. Any final takeaways you'd like to share? Either of you.
Yeah, why not? I reckon it's not easy. I think anything that's worth it is never easy. Isn't that true?
I think
Anything that's worth doing is never going to be easy. All right? This relationship is worth it. So it shouldn't be easy. And I'm glad it's not.
So I think sometimes when things are easy, then they neglect them as well.
Yeah. Imagine
Too comfortable.
imagine we were worth billions right now. Don't you think it would be easy? Everything would be easy. You'd still have to be putting in an effort to connect with that person. Otherwise, it'd be like, oh, honey, I'm just going to go to Paris tonight. I'll see you in a few months.
Yeah. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Yeah, no worries. Whatever. Just going to go for a cruise in the Ferrari with the boys. That'll do. So that's not an exceptional relationship. You still have to work at it. So I think anything worth doing, anything worth having in your life is always going to take work. That's why I want my kids to have difficulties in their life. I don't want them to have an easy life. I want them to build character, to work hard for it, to appreciate it, and to become the best versions of themselves, as you said. That's probably my last takeaway. Make lots of money, have an amazing life, love the same woman, full stop.
And have kids. Yeah. So if you're on the brink, pause this podcast. Get to work. All right. Easy done. Well, you mentioned it at the start, but I'll make mention here again, just in case you got caught up with that awesome intro and you didn't subscribe. Click that button, top right-hand corner. Most of you listen. Most of you are not subscribed. All of you listen. It is impossible to hear me say that without listening. All of you listen. Most of you aren't subscribed. Subscribe to the channel, top right-hand corner, red button, and we'll chat to you on the next episode.
Look, if we can get Nicole on the podcast and we can get her to listen to one episode, I'm sure you guys can subscribe. Let's be honest.
Second that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks,
Look forward
guys.
to being with you next week.
Thank you.
See ya.
Peace out.